Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Take 5, and my name is Luke. Today, we are talking about Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. This is the follow-up movie to the 2019 Knives Out murder mystery film. Rian Johnson is returning as writer and director, and we also have Daniel Craig returning to reprise the role of Detective Benoit Blanc. Now, is this a worthy sequel to Knives Out? I say it depends. Let's jump into it. So, we have this movie that is actually set during the pandemic, which is quite clever. This is a setup where a bunch of people are invited to go vacation on a private island. These people are all connected together, so they're getting the invite from their billionaire friend, portrayed by Edward Norton, to not only vacation there, but also to solve his murder. So he's setting this up as they're going to play a murder mystery game, but Detective Blanc also gets invited, and he's itching to solve a new case. Very different take on Detective Blanc, because this, like I said, this is set during the pandemic, and it's actually kind of written around that. So he's been stuck at home, he's itching to solve a new case, and you really see the effects that it has on his character. It's a very different take on this character than we got in the Knives Out film. He just has this different vibe about him. He's very goofy in this one, but when it comes to solving the case, he's pretty sharp. He's still on point. He's still bringing that energy. But let's go into some of the other characters. Once again, we have an all-star cast. Like I mentioned, we have Edward Norton, who is a main character portraying Miles Braun, who's this billionaire who basically bought this private island and has built a resort called the Glass Onion, where he's inviting all of his friends that he's either worked with or assisted in the past. So we have Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, Janelle, Monáe, Kathryn, Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick, Madelyn, Cline, so many more. There's even quite a few little cameos, so be sure to keep a lookout for those. I love seeing cameos. It's always fun. There's one in particular that was a real surprise that I really enjoyed. But let's get into the story a little bit. Did this one work or not? So for me, I found this to be a little bit of a weaker murder mystery whodunit versus Knives Out. You definitely have an all-star cast, but this is a little bit more on the comedic, goofier side than what we had in the Knives Out film. And it has very similar groundwork and foundation. Like, everything is really there for a proper whodunit, but there are a lot of moments that, for me, got a little bit too far on the cheesier side. If you haven't followed the story, this is a partnership through Netflix, so this is becoming more of a franchise. A third film has already been announced, so this movie has a lot of money, and you can see it within it, especially as you get into the third act. And that was another small issue I had with this, is especially when you get into the third act, there's some moments where you can definitely sense it's a Netflix film. It just has that Netflix vibe that we've been getting. But even with that, I would say this is probably one of the better Netflix films that I've seen this year. But when it boils down to it, is this a worthy enough sequel? For me, it wasn't. I found this to be a little bit of a weaker sequel when it comes to the actual mystery, the twist and the turns. It was a lot easier for myself to figure out versus the former one. Even with Knives Out, I did have some issues with that, especially going into the third act, and then, you know, the twist and turns there, because going into that one, I had a similar effect. Like, I was able to figure a lot of stuff out early on, but again, I really enjoy the characters of Knives Out, especially when it came to Detective Blanc. And there's a certain vibe that he has, a certain coolness that I did not see in this film that I was missing, and I really wanted that. But even so, it's very well written. It's very entertaining. I think it's very smart to put this directly after it into the pandemic and layer that in. And the characters are all affected by it in different ways. They all have their own backstories, and it's really cool to see how they all connect together. And that was fun. And they all had some moments. Everyone got good screen time and had their moments. But when it came down to the third act, there was things that I felt were going a little bit too much, repetitive, just kind of taking away from what I was wanting from this film. And for me, that's why it puts it as like a lesser worthy sequel. Though it is entertaining, I had a fun time watching it, but I don't know. I'm hopeful for the third one that we can get a little bit more from there. So this will release in a 1-week theater run starting next Wednesday, and then you can stream this on Netflix on December 23rd. Personally, I would just hold off until Netflix. But if you're a huge fan of Knives Out, I think you'll really enjoy this one. If you had issues with Knives Out, I could see you having issues with this one as well, and that was my case. So for that, I've got to give Glass Onion a 5 out of 10. I got to go right down the middle. There's a lot of other little things that I was kind of picking up on that I just wasn't vibing with this film, but there are some interesting jokes that land. There's some things that didn't land for me, but yeah, I'm still excited. If you know, we know we're getting a third film, and I'm very excited to see what Rian Johnson will do, what Daniel Craig will do with this character. I think it's cool that we did get to see a little bit into his personal life and really get a sense of, like, you know, where he is in terms of like how he acts around these billionaires. It gives you an idea of like how much money he makes from solving these cases, and very, very curious to see what they're going to do with the third film and if this is going to go any further. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you thought of this below in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and yeah, let me know if you have any other murder mystery films that you like. Let me know what those are. I'm a big fan, but I need a challenge. Give me one that's a challenge, and those are what hook me. So thanks so much for stopping by and checking out this video. I'll be back soon with more reviews. And if not, I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving next week. We'll see you soon.